कुञ्जविहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जयो राधमाधव कुञ्जविहारी जयो राधमाधव कुञ्जविहारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधमाधव कुञ्जविहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा गिरधारी राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद Hare Krishna. Just checking once again if everyone can hear the audio, video, and the screen absolutely fine. Can someone please confirm me?
Yes, Prabhu. All good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll quickly start with Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, chapter 25, continuation. If someone would like to please volunteer like to read the Lilamrita, please.
I could read, Prabhu.
Yes, please go.
Okay. Before Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, chapter 25, before Prabhupada's illness, the devotees had planned a big event in Tompkins Square Park for Sunday, June 4th. The Parks Department had given them the use of a loudspeaker system and the stage in the band shell. Mr. Kalman, producer of the Hare Krishna record, had encouraged them to advertise and had gotten in touch with the TV stations. The devotees had begun making Hare Krishna mantra signs so that everyone, even the TV viewer, could chant. Although now unable to go, Srila Prabhupada said they should still have their festival. He would compose a special address for Kirtanananda to read to the public. From his hospital bed, he dictated the short speech, an address to American youth by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. On June 4th, several hundred people gathered around the band shell in Tompkins Square Park while the devotees played harmonium, kartals, and mridangas and chanted Hare Krishna over the PA system. Many people in the crowd chanted along, playing their own instruments and even joining the devotees on stage. Kirtanananda stood before the microphone and announced that Bhaktivedanta Swami, although ill at Beth Israel Hospital, had prepared a message for everyone. Many among the Lower East Side crowd were acquainted with Bhaktivedanta Swami and his chanting of Hare Krishna. They listened as Kirtanananda read, My dear young beautiful boys and girls of America, I have come to your country with great hope and a great mission. My spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajikacharya, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, asked me to preach this cult of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western world. Should I continue or?
Yes, Mataji, please.
That was the seed-giving incident. Gradually, the seed fructified and I was prepared to come to the Western world. Still, I do not know why I was so much attracted by the land of America. But from within, Krishna dictated that instead of going to Europe, I should better go to America. So you can see that I have come to your country under order of superior authority. And even after arriving here, when I perceived that some of the youngsters are being misled, confused, and frustrated, this is not the condition of your country only, but in every country. The young people are neglected, although it is they who are the flower and future hope of everyone. So I thought to myself that if I go to the American youth with my message and they join with me in this movement, then it will spread all over the world. And then all the problems of the world will be solved. How I would like to be with you in person today, but Krishna has prevented that. So please pardon me and accept my blessings in this written form. This process of Sankirtan, the singing and dancing, is so nice because from the very beginning, it places everyone on the spiritual platform. There are different platforms or levels to our existence: the bodily platform, the mental platform, the intellectual platform, and the spiritual platform. When you stand on the spiritual platform, then all the problems created by the necessities of the body, mind, intellect, and ego become solved. Therefore, I appeal to you to join this movement most seriously. The process is very simple. We ask everyone to come join with us in chanting, hear something of the philosophy of life taught by Lord Krishna, take a little prasadam, foodstuff that is prepared and offered to the Lord, and peacefully, with refreshed mind, go home. That is our mission. We do have certain restrictions. Practically, they are not restrictions, but something better in place of something inferior. In other day, Mr. Alan Burke questioned me on his television program, Swamiji, why do you insist on marriage? And I answered him, unless one becomes peaceful in home life, how can he make any advance in any other area of life or knowledge? Therefore, everyone should get married just to be happy and peaceful. You are all beautiful, nice, educated boys and girls. Why shouldn't you get married and live happily? If you live peacefully regulated lives, eating nothing but Krishna prasadam, then the tissues in your brain will develop for spiritual consciousness and understanding. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
We'll start with invocation prayer. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam virajayam udiyate nashtaprayeshu bhaddeshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttame shloke bhaktir bhavati neshtaki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. We are reading from Canto 4, chapter 31, and the shloka is number 11, and the chapter is titled Narad's instructs the Prachetas. So the shloka is, Sutrena tapasa vakim vachodhi chitta vrittibhi buddhaya vakim nipunaya balendriya radhasa. Shutrena tapasa vakim vachodhi chitta vrittibhi buddhaya vakim nipunaya balendriya radhasa. Shrutena tapasa vakim vacho vi chitta vrittibhi buddhaya vakim nipunaya balendriya radhasa. So would like to recite the shloka? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, I am trying.
Please, Prabhuji.
Srutena tapasa vakim vacho bhischitta vrittihi buddha vakim nipunaya bolendriya radhosha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Please blame Master.
Shrutena taposa vakim vachobhischitta vrittibihi buddhya vakim nipunaya bolenendriya radhasaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I am also
Hare
trying.
Krishna. Please.
Shrutena taposha bhakim vachobhischitta vrittivihi budhaya bhakim nipunnaya balendriya radhasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, done with Pranam.
Please. Hare Krishna.
Shrutena tapasa vakim vachobhischittavritibhi buddhaya vakim nipunnaya balenendriya radhasa. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanva Pranam. I will also read.
Please, please.
Shrutena tapasa vakim vacho bhischitta vittavih buddhya vakim nipunnaya balendriya radhasaha.
Okay. We'll go with synonyms one by one by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrutena, by Vedic education. Tapasa, by austerities. Va, or kim, what is the meaning? Vachobi, by words. Chitta, of consciousness. Vrittibhi, by occupation. Buddhaya, by intelligence. Va, or kim, what is the use? Nipunaya, expert. Balena, by bodily strength. Indriya radhasa, by power of senses. Translation. Without devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities? The process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and the power of senses. May I please ask someone to please volunteer like to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am reading it
Please.
from purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From the Upanishad, Mandaka Upanishad 3.2.3, we learn Nayam Atma Prabhachena Labhyo Na Medhaya Bha Bahuna Srutena Yam Eva Isha Vrinute Te No Labhyas Tashaisha Atma Vrinute Tenam Swam. My relationship with the Supreme Lord is never advanced by simple study of the Vedas. Sorry, our relationship with the Supreme Lord is never advanced by the simple study of the Vedas. There are many Mayavadi sannyashis fully engaged in the study, the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and Upanishads. But unfortunately, they cannot grasp the real essence of knowledge. In other words, they do not know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is the use in studying all the Vedas if one cannot grasp the essence of the Vedas? Krishna. The Lord confirms in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedescha Sarvori ego Vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. There are many religious systems wherein penances and austerities are greatly stressed. But at the end, no one understands Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is Therefore, no point in such penance, tapasya, if one has actually approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not need to undergo severe austerities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is understood through the process of devotional service. In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, devotional service is explained as Rajaguhyam, the king of all confidential knowledge. There are many good reciters of Vedic literatures, and they recite works such as Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these professional readers manifest very good scholarship, and exhibit word jugglery. Unfortunately, they are never devotees of the Supreme Lord. Consequently, they cannot impress upon the audience the real essence of knowledge, Krishna. There are also many thoughtful writers and creative philosophers, but despite all their learnings, if they cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are simply useless mental speculators. There are many sharply intelligent people in this material world, and they discover so many things for sense gratification. They also analytically study all the material elements, but despite their expert knowledge and expert scientific analysis of the whole cosmic manifestation, their endeavors are useless because they cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As far as our senses are concerned, there are many animals, both beasts and birds, who are very expert in exercising their senses more keenly than human beings. For example, vultures and hawks can go very high in the sky, but can see a small body on the ground very clearly. This means that their eyesight is so keen that they can find an eatable corpse from a great distance. Certainly, their eyesight is much keener than human beings, but this doesn't mean that their existence is more important than that of human being. And similarly, dog can smell many things from a far distance. Many fish can understand by the power of sound that an enemy is coming. All these examples are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. If one's senses cannot help him attain the highest perfection of light, realization of the Supreme, they are all useless. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We'll start with our invocation prayers. Om Ajnanatirmandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamishcha Shri Rupam Sankrijatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitan Misha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Din Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Rapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishibhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I will just read the shloka once again. It says, Shrutena tapasa vakim vacho bhi chitta vrittibhi buddhaya vakim nipunaya bal indriya radhasa. Without devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities, the process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and the power of senses? So we can see here, before we just jump in, just a little bit of background that so far what we have heard is the Prachetas in the previous chapter, they got instructed, they met the Lord, and now they got married, and now they are in the process of renunciation. And Narad Muni is on its way, and he is trying to he's instructing the Prachetas. So he just said in this particular shloka that what is the use of so-called elevated intelligence, mental speculation, the power of senses, if all this thing we cannot we achieve the devotional service, right? And Srila Prabhupada generally quotes one of the shlokas. Can anyone like to read the shloka, please, and the translation?
I can try, Prabhu.
Please, Mataji.
आराधितो यदि हरिस्तपसा ततः किं नाराधितो यदि हरिस्तपसा ततः किम् अन्तर्बहिर्यदि हरिस्तपसा ततः किं नान्तर्बहिर्यदि हरिस्तपसा ततः किम्. If one is worshipping Lord Hari, what is the use of performing extraneous penances? And if one is not worshipping Lord Hari, no such penances will save one. If one can understand that Lord Hari is all-pervading within and without, what is the need of performing penances? And if one is not able to understand that Hari is all-pervading, all his penances are useless. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very interesting, he says that what is the use of tapasya if one is not able to worship the Supreme Lord? And what is the use of tapasya if you are able to worship the Supreme Lord? Right? And if you are doing the tapasya and if you are able to see the Lord within and without, what is the use of that? What is the use of that tapasya? And vice versa. So it's very nicely said. So until we are doing so much of devotional service, until we are doing so much of as the shloka says, by reading books, by doing tapasya, doing austerity, but if you can't do devotional service, what is the use? So similarly, we can say by the shloka, which is Narayana Panchatra shloka, we can see in this modern world that people say, what is the use of all this education if you don't get the money? And what is the use of education if you already have money? So if you are getting the money, what is the use of education? So if you're getting the devotional service, actually, what is tapasya? Why the tapasya, the conclusion of all the tapasya, the conclusion of all the Vedas is to know the Lord. Sometimes people are proud of their own tapasya, and they do fasting and so much of doing this, and sometime what happens, it's we get proud of our tapasya, we get proud of our devotional service. And Radhanath Maharaj, his name is Radhanath Maharaj says, that when you are fasting, your ego is feasting, that's very, very dangerous. So you may be fasting, but your ego must be feasting. So there is no use of such kind of tapasya where your pride is getting increased and your false ego is getting increased. So such kind of tapasya is strictly prohibited. We don't need to do that kind of such kind of tapasya. The purpose of all the scriptures is, again, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedascha sarva, Vedascha sarva, Ahameva Vedya, Vedanta Krit Veda, Vedeva Chaham. Of all the Vedas, I'm to be known. Indeed, I'm the compiler of the Vedas and I'm the knower of all the Vedas. So if you're reading all those scriptures, all those what you call 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, Rig Veda, Shamved, Atharved, Yajurved, the essence is to know Krishna. That is the main purpose. At the same time, Brahma Samhita says, in 533, Vedesha Adurlabham. You cannot understand Supreme Lord with tapasya by the Vedas. But again, the second two words, which is Adurlam Atma Bhaktayo, which says only by bhakti you can know the Supreme Lord as it is. But Krishna is telling through that here that through Vedas you should understand me and harmonize those two statements, which we have already spoken about. So what does Vedanta means? What is Ved is the Vedas and Ant is the end, So Vedanta. So where the Vedas end, it should give you the realization that we should surrender to Lord, the Bhakti. And that is why Srila Prabhupada is also known as Bhakti Vedanta. Swami Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta. Where the Bhakti ends, that's where the Vedas end, that's Bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada has given his all the scriptures with purports, word by word translation. He has given everything. That's why it's known as Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Even in the Mukunda Mala Sutra, if someone would like to read the shloka as well as the translation, please. Someone would like to read that?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can try that.
Please, Mataji.
Amna yabhiyashani aranyarudidam veda vratani anuvaham medhascheda phalani purta vidaya sarvam hutam bhasmani tirthanam avagahanyani cha gaja snanam vinayat pada dvandam varoruha sam samsmritim vijayate devasha narayana. All glories to Lord Narayana. Without remembrance of his lotus feet, recitation of scripture is merely crying in the wilderness. Regular observance of severe vows enjoined in the Vedas is no more than a way to lose weight. Execution of prescribed pious duties is like pouring oblations onto ashes, and bathing at various holy sites is no better than an elephant's bath. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So, in the Mukund Mala Sutra shloka number 21, King Purushika speaks that people are lost in the Vedas. They are lost in the Vedas, as if he's comparing to the people who are lost in the jungle. They are lost. They're so confused. It's like they have written so many scriptures and they don't know the conclusion. So they are just they read from some portion from here, some here, and basically what has happened by reading so many scriptures is they're all getting confused. There's one incident that reminds me that Srila Prabhupada met the devotees, and it was all Mayavadis people, and Srila Prabhupada were asked to come and speak something about the Lord, about the truth, about the God. And Srila Prabhupada generally, he always takes his wherever Srila Prabhupada, he used to take, the dabba of gulab jamun, ISKCON bullets, so Srila Prabhupada took that with him, and he asked all the people sitting in the assembly, can you please tell us who is God? What is the ultimate truth? And Srila Prabhupada just opened the question, and all the people sitting there, they were all Mayavadis, they were like, what is this person? This is what this old man is asking such a big question. So yeah, they asked Srila Prabhupada, this is very, a very broader topic. It's very difficult to explain everything in, that whose God is, what is the real truth. And Srila Prabhupada just listened to them, not their head, and put the hand on one of his dabbas where the Gulab Jamun was kept. And he asked the small kid to come, the Gurukuli boy, and asked him, please tell me, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And the boy looked at Srila Prabhupada, his hand was on the dabba, and he knew what Srila Prabhupada is expecting the right answer, and Srila Prabhupada expect the answer. So the boy said, Shri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Srila Prabhupada opened the dabba and gave one collapse to that boy. And he asked the people, that you are all the sannyasis, you have read so many Upanishads, you have read the Vedas, but still you don't know the essence, who God is. So this small boy, the Gurukuli, he knows who God is. So too much of knowledge is again very, very dangerous. It also says in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 16:11, it says Bahu Shastre Bahu Vakya Chitta Bhramit Hoy. It's like if you're reading too many of books, Bahu Shastre and Bahu Vakya, if you're hearing too many of lectures from different people, what happened? Bhaya Bhramit Hoy. You get confused. That's why we should avoid so much of learning from different people out. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, you should always read Srila Prabhupada's books so that you are fully focused. You won't get deviated. So if you try to see Srila Prabhupada's book, they are not something outside the box. Whether you read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, whether we read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or any other books, going back to Godhead, taking on a life, and question and answers. If in any books of Srila Prabhupada, the message is same. They got same references. They got same. You won't be feeling like, oh, this book mein to ye likha hai. This book says something else. This book says something. It's same message. That's why not get confused when you read Srila Prabhupada's book, right? And is also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, sometimes I mean before that, people generally sometimes say, without austerity, how can we please God? How can we please Supreme Personality of Godhead without doing the austerity? But Krishna says in 9:27, Yat karoshi yad asasi, yat janhosi dasi, yat tapasya se kauntya, tad kuru mad arpanam. So what is he says? 5 things from here. Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat asnasi. Asnasi means whatever you eat. What juhosi, whatever you offer. Yat dadasi. Dadasi means giving away. Dadati pratigana, dadasi, whatever you give. And yat tapasya, whatever also you do it, O son of Kurti, as an offering to me. So that is what Krishna is asking. He doesn't want your mental speculation here that I will do a certain like this. People generally, what they do, they try to harm their own body. They generally harm their own body. Oh, hum tapasya kar rahe. We will walk Govardhan Parikrama, bare feet. Isko tapasya. Jab tak, until and unless our body cannot get tortured, that is not called as tapasya. This is all speculation. This is all dry philosophies. We need to have Krishna center. That's what Krishna says. Whatever you're doing, offer it to me. Even if you are unable to do the parikrama without shoes, just wear something at least. Then you are focused on your parikrama rather than focusing on what step you're, how you're gonna walk. Generally, when we do parikrama in the dham, we generally think, okay, paw mein lagna chahiye, kankad, there's nothing get hurt in the leg. So our focus is more on walking rather than on doing the parikrama. So that's why it says, do whatever you're doing, but as an offering to me. That's what Krishna says. So Kurushekar says here that tapasya people are benefiting only one thing by doing all this tapasya is weight reduction. That's it. Fat loss. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing more than this. That is the only end of their tapasya. The conclusion ends there. So at the same time, even if you're going to the holy dham, like people go to Prayagraj, people go to, even if you are doing the bathing, you're bathing in Ganges, if you're bathing in Yamuna, if you're bathing in the holy dham Prayagraj, if you're not attracted towards the Lord, that bath is known as what is it called? Gajasnanam, which is like taking bath. It's the elephant bath. As soon as you come out of that holy day, what are you going to do? You start doing the same nonsense thing. You will come out, you will do same routine, eating onion garlic and doing all those things. That's waste, completely waste. So we have been given this beautiful body to use in service of Krishna. You need to understand this very nice story that reminds me that there was a great devotee. It's a South Indian story. There's a great devotee known as Dasa. If you may have heard that. So Dasa was very poor boy, but very nice devotee at the same time. So Dasa was a devotee. So he took the initiation from his guru, who's known as Vyasatirtha. And Vyasatirtha was very elevated person. And he has got many disciples. So once, but the disciples, they were very, scholarly and very learned, and they were like, they can do many kind of austerities, tapasya, and they were like very on a high top notch. But this Kanakdasa was very simple. He was very simple. His devotee of the Lord, and he used to chant very nicely, and he was very simple though. So the people who were very scholarly in his Gurukul, they were like a bit agitated with this guy. He's very, what kind of person is always chanting? He should do some, austerities, some tapasya and all this, rather than this boy is, iska kuch nahi ho sakta. So Vyasatirtha, the guru of that Gurukul, came to know about this, that people are getting envious of Kanakadasa. So one day he called the assembly. All of you girls and all the boys, please come, and we'll discuss something. As sort of discussion, he said, Kanakdasa, can you please tell us who will go back to Godhead, to Lord Narayana? So he asked this boy. This boy can do lots of tapasya. he can do lots of austerities, so will you go back home, back to Godhead, to Narayan in Vaikuntha? Then he said, this Krishna doesn't need any tapasvis in the Vaikuntha, so it's very difficult for this boy to go home, back to Godhead. Then Gahatyata asked another boy, this boy is he has devoted his life in doing devotion, and he has got so many of siddhis and this thing. Will this boy go back home, back to Godhead? Then Kanak Dasa said, Krishna doesn't need any yogis in Vaikuntha. So then Vyasachit was very impressed, Then he asked about himself. I'm the guru. What about me? Will I go home, back to Godhead? So Kanak Dasa says, Krishna doesn't need any matadish or gurus, in Vaikuntha. So yeah. Then he asked, okay, so far you have told everything about others. What about you yourself? Will you go home, back to Godhead? And he said, if I can go, I may go. So this answer is very, very important and very need to understand that. But it's very, very powerful statement. Very powerful statement. If I can go, I may go. This I is the false ego, which is stopping us from going home, back to Godhead. So we see there are two kinds of birth that we take in this material world, and there are two types of deaths that we have to go through. The first birth is the material birth that we take physically, and the second birth is the birth given by your spiritual master during the time of initiation. There are the two births that we take, and then we have to die as well. So there are two kinds of deaths as well, as I said. So the real death should happen before we die. The death of the false ego should happen before we actually die. Only then we die. Otherwise, what will happen if a false ego doesn't die? What will happen? We have got more desires. We'll take birth again and again. And that cycle keeps on going on and on. That's what it says, punarpi jananam, punarapri maranam, punari jatri jarayasanam, We'll take birth, death, again and again, unless the false ego dies. Then the death is successful. Otherwise, we are coming back again. That's what His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami said, die before you die. So we have to die before we actually die. Otherwise, we'll never die. We will come back again to enjoy this material world. Cycle of birth and death keeps on going on and on. So unfortunately, the people think the goal of life is just sense gratification. And that's the whole purpose that we are in this material world again and again. So Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur has very nice small story that, there was a very rich lady, and she had a maid servant, and the rich lady, the maid servant happened to have a temperature of 102. So the rich lady called the doctor, my servant is not fine, and she's having high temperature. Can you just have a look and just see if what is wrong? So the doctor came and put the thermometer and said, oh, she's having temperature 102. And he prescribed some medicines to that maid. And the rich lady asked that, doctor, can you please check my temperature too? The doctor said, no, you're absolutely fine. You don't need any, you don't need any medication. You're absolutely fine. I can see and tell you right now. But no, I insist. Can you please tell me? I really want to know. So doctor, she insists, she said, okay, let me put, and she said, yeah, you are perfectly fine. Your temperature is just 98. So instead of becoming happy, the rich lady became very angry as to how my maidservant has something more than what I should have. Why she is having 102 and I only have 98? So I should be having more. I should be having 102 instead of. So this is a typical mentality that we see, that people nowadays have, that everything should be mine. People are comparing with others, and they don't see that what they are comparing, and they want more suffering on themselves. And that's the reason why we are struggling in this material world as of in this age of Kali, you know. And so in the name of spiritual advancement, actually, they are inviting more and more suffering, you know, and everybody is competing with each other in the process of becoming more and more miserable. So actually, we see the sense gratification looks good when the soul is deceased, you know. Just imagine the sense gratification looks good when the soul is deceased. But when the soul is in healthy condition, the sense gratification doesn't look good. So, for an example, if you see that if it's very, very cold, and if you put blanket, you feel very, very happy, right? And if it's very cold, and if you put the AC on, you feel miserable. Similarly, if you turn the table around now, if it's very, very hot, and if you put blanket, you feel miserable. But if it's very hot, you put the AC, you feel very cold, right? So similarly, we will see that the soul, when it's very, very sick, sense gratification is enjoyed, right? But if the soul is very strengthy, the soul is very, very focused, what will happen? All this material attachment will feel like contamination. You will not get attracted towards it. No matter how hard you try, you will not able to enjoy it, you know. So even if you try to, if you are doing your 16 rounds and if you say, let's go and watch a movie, let's go to pub, you won't feel like, you won't be getting connected there, you know, because soul is having, tasting the pure nectar. After that, you're going for sense gratification, it won't comply. It won't comply. And that's what the problem is. So our soul is at this, as of now, is completely sick at the moment. That's why we get enjoyed when we see sense gratification. So there's a very nice instance. There was one person who was residing in the forest, you know. He was an Adivasi, and he used to, his earning was to cut the tree, burn the fire, make it like coal, and sell in the market. So what happened once was he was trying to cut the, once there was the weather wasn't good, and it was raining very, very bad. So he was like, "Arey, what shall I do? Today I won't be able to burn, and neither I can sell the coal, so I will not have any food. So what should I?" So no, before that, what happened was I skipped this story in between. So what happened? That's what his daily life was. So once upon a time there was a king who was passing by, and king saw he was somehow the or the other, the king became the guest of this Adivasi person. And king was very impressed by his hospitality, so he gave him a portion of a small forest, that this is yours, you can use it whatever way you want, and I'm assigning this small land to you, and you've got lots of trees in there, you can use it. So this Adivasi was very, very happy. Yes, now I got so much of wood, I can burn, make lots of coal and sell in the market. So that's how he started selling more and more coal and start getting money. So once there was a huge there was thunderstorm, and he was unable to fire the wood because it was raining, so he can't make coal. So what he decided, well, let me do whatever I have got. Let me take that wood and sell in the market, you know. So he tried to sell the wood, and he said, "Jo bhi milega, let's see, we'll see how it goes." So he went to the market, and all of a sudden, people were getting a huge line. Can I get this wood? Can I get this wood? I'm like, what is happening? I mean, I'm selling coal. Maybe people are really desperate to burn for the food. That's why they're taking the wood now. I should burn more of these wood and make coal and start making stock of it, you know. So, but people were like, can you bring this wood tomorrow? If you can, please buy this. Can I have more of these wood for tomorrow? If you can, please, I can buy the whole whatever you have got in your stock. I will buy. This Adivasi has got some concern now. What is happening? Why they are asking me that they want to have all this wood? Something is wrong or what? So he realized that what the wood he was selling was not actually wood, that was sandalwood. So he realized that, oh my God, what I was doing is just burning the sandalwood into a coal and selling in the market for cheap. What a fool I was. So he was lamenting. So thereby it happened. There was a sannyasi who was walking by, and he said, don't worry. What you can do, you can more saplings. You can make more saplings of this plant, and you can plant more. And don't lament. It's fine. But we need to understand from this story that this body that we have been given is like a sandalwood, you know. But what we are doing is burning into sense gratification every day we are burning it out by doing extra endeavor in doing things which we are not supposed to do. We need to learn this lesson from the story is that this body is like a sandalwood and we need to utilize it properly instead of wasting it and burning it in things which is not required. So in this reference, Srila Prabhupada says that this Vaishnavas, we need to understood that the Vaishnavas like Srila Prabhupada and other senior devotees are like, they are the one who makes us understand the real goal of life, who God is, how God has created this world and who we are and what should be our goal of life. So it says that illusion looks so real, and the reality looks like illusion. The illusion looks real, but the reality looks like illusion. And that is why people are getting so much confused because they can't see the real, they can't see the truth. All they can see with their imperfect senses, they think that illusion is reality. Unfortunately, that's what the fact is. But reality, which is we can't see Krishna, because for us, people say Krishna is myth. They have nowadays, even in India, they say, Mahabharata is a mythology. You don't say it's a history because we can't see the real, we can't see the truth, we can't see the tattvas, And if you see what has happened with this kind of mentality, people who are trying to do simple thing accidentally discovered something which is more dangerous. Just like the atomic bomb was not discovered. They was trying to discover something else, but eventually they found out this is a formula of creating a mass weapon. Just like Einstein, he created the formula E equal MC squared. That was not his fault. He was trying to find something else, but this formula came up. And now it's been used in creating the mass destruction of and weapons, And if you see nowadays, people are, there are so many philosophers, so many mental speculators who are giving classes on Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, and in different ways, to attack people. But their philosophies die because they themselves don't know who God is. But yes, they will portray it in the public, that this is this, but they have got no attraction towards the God. That's what the problem is. If you see, I was told that, in Fiji, people generally do Ramayana Mandli, and after when the Ramayana Mandli is finished, what they do, they drink kava. That's all fake, that's all bogus, that's not the real essence. Srila Prabhupada has been told many times, that the sannyasis generally comes to West, they do all these things, they do this, they do this. Srila Prabhupada said, I'm not here to entertain them. I'm here to give Krishna to them. That's what I'm here for. So Srila Prabhupada was very sincere, simple and sincere. He was simple, sincere, and he was very serious in spreading Krishna consciousness. And we have to apply all these three S's in our life as well if we want to go home back to Godhead. So this basically shloka talks about all about how until unless we are surrendered to Krishna, until unless we are not following the scriptures, until unless we are not following what's been said, our all of endeavor, whether you are reading Vedas, whether you're taking holy dip in the holy water, whether you're doing extra austerities, tapasya, whatever you're doing is Shamahi Eva Kevalam, basically. So if you look, Krishna says multiple times in Bhagavad Gita, multiple times, Bhakta Mama Bijanati, only by bhakti you will know me. And bhakti is not rocket science. Srila Prabhupada has said very easy way of doing bhakti. That is, if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam, from Canto 1 to 12 is all about chanting. Starting from Canto 1 itself is talk about chanting of the holy name. Chapter 2, Canto 2 was about holy name. Canto 3 is Kapil Dev instructing the devotee about chanting of the holy name. Chapter 4 we are already reading. Chapter 6 is Rishabh Dev. Chapter 7 is Gajendra Stuti. It's all about this. Bhagavatam is full of holy name. It's all about holy name. Chapter Canto 9, Canto 10 is all about Krishna himself. Chapter 11, Canto 11 is all about Bhavishya Puran, is all about Kali Dosha Nidhi Rajanashri Ekaman Guna. It's all about this one. And chapter 12 itself conclude with the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to come and, it's all about holy name. So Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam says full on what is that Krishna can only be obtained by bhakti only. That's why Krishna starts Bhagavad Gita with other level of yogas, whether it's dhyana, karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, all those. But in the 9th chapter, he says about guhyam akshara prachati. Guhyam. This is the guhyam thing, which is devotional service. And that is chanting of the holy name. So we conclude the class, today's class, that if you are doing any as given the shlokas in today's shloka, this is asking the question that all these mental speculation, austerities, tapasya, if you are not attaining the devotional service, basically we are wasting our time, and it's called as Shramhi Eva Kevalam. We are in this material world. We have to utilize this time very nicely. We know what the truth is. We need to follow that truth nicely. So I'll end my class here. If you've got any questions or add on, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Oh, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
for bringing out the inner core of our devotional service, because ultimately all this we do, the Kurmis perform activities and the yogis perform Ashtanga Dhyan, and the Gyanis by analytical study tries to reach the God. But in all these things, unless it is connected with the devotional service, it is useless. And if I can remember properly, it is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 8. It is clearly written, Dharma sanushtita pumsam vishekshana kathasuya na utpadvayatratin sramoiva hi kevalam. If all this we do, in Varnashrama system, there are 4 social orders is given, Brahman, Vaishya, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and all of them are pursuing their activities. But ultimately, unless it creates, the purpose is that by doing our prescribed duties, we should develop devotional service on the Lord, because that is the ultimate thing we have to do. And if all these things we do, and ultimately we cannot, it doesn't create a bhakti in our mind. And that bhakti is not mixed bhakti. It is ahito ke no pratihata. It should be free from all other contamination, only for the service of the Lord or please the Lord. And that is pure bhakti. To do anything for the service of the Lord, not for any personal things, and it should be uninterrupted. It is not that sometime I am doing, sometime not doing. It is always focused and never directed any other sides, and the purpose is to serve the Lord faithfully and to please the Lord. If we do that, that is the duty we have got in this human life. And as you have nicely told, that human life is very important. And previously yesterday, when the Prabhu was also telling, Shulabham and Shudurlabham. It is very difficult to get, but we have got it very easily. So we have to utilize this human life to make it purposeful by serving the Lord. And if we do that, our human life is successful. Otherwise, whatever we do, whatever qualities we have, all this is a failure, a doom failure in one sense, if it doesn't grow devotional service to the Lord. And if we cannot perform it and ultimately reach the final goal, that is our destination. And that if we do that, our life is successful. Otherwise, it is a failure. Thank you for bringing out that point. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dana Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you for the nice class. I really like the quotation where you mentioned that. One second. Yeah, it was quoted that doing austerities is like doing tapasya to lose weight. I mean, it's such useless labor.
Yeah, even I was trying to read a few points, and I came to know about this point. So yeah, I will. If you want, I can send that to you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. And the other more like relevant or more modern example is like I heard if you buy a very good laptop, the latest like what you call Apple, and then you use that laptop to just as a door stopper, you know, when the wind comes, you don't lose. So we got this human law of life, such precious, you know, opportunity, and we are not using it. It's just like using the topmost laptop to just a door stopper. Thank you, Prabhu.
So true, Prabhuji. So true.
Thank you very much.
Well said.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhu. Yeah, very, very nice class. So many new points to take away. I especially like the point you said about dying before dying.
Yes.
The
Yes.
dying of our false ego is necessary before we actually die. Then our dying is successful. So that is a very, very nice point. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it appears there is no other person to make comments. So the class may be concluded. Thank you once again for very, very nice class. Vancha kalpataru.
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंतकोटि
कोटि
वैष्णव
वैष्णव
वृंद
वृंद
की
की
जय।
जय।
His Grace चित्र कृष्ण प्रभु की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
गौतमानंदे हरि
हरि हरि बोल।
Praise to Asa Mullimur. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna।
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna,
Have a
Mataji.
nice
Thank you for the nice
day.
class.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.